We also have the first ad that popped off this week on the Instagram. It's up there on the YouTube if you guys want to check it out on our homepage. It's there. Thank you. Wow, that was clean. That was clean, and that was so much quicker. I'm a huge fan of that. We're revolutionizing our socials game out here, Lenny, because we apparently are not professionals yet. So we are out here. Part 3. What are you looking for?
I was going to say, let's just show the people real quick.
Like we don't have the audio, remember?
Oh, we don't have the audio.
We don't have the audio, remember?
Stupid.
So, but it's there on the homepage if you want to go there and check it out. So, part 3, we'll be talking about Elon Musk and the recent acquisition of Twitter. So, over the last few weeks, he purchased a stake in Twitter of like 9.6%, right? Things progressed rapidly from there.
At the speed of Twitter.
Yeah. It was bubbling the last time we were here with the Gator Boys, and we just didn't get to it. I did not think things were going to happen this quickly, or else I would have demanded that we discuss it.
Oh, really?
I
was kind of like waiting in the wings to be like, this could go either way.
Yeah, it just didn't. I did not expect it to happen that quickly. No. So Elon Musk purchased a 9.6% stake in Twitter. It was like X amount of shares or whatever. He spent a whole boatload of cash on it.
Yep.
Things progressed very quickly from there, where there were talks of him joining the board. And then he was like, well, I don't want to join the board, so that there are options to do this. Then he started to look to acquire Twitter as a whole. He made a first initial offer that the board denied. And then they started looking like they were going to undertake what was called the poison pill. And did they actually do that? Or were they just talking about it?
Well, what is the poison pill?
The poison pill was splitting shares by an immense amount and dividing them and reducing the value, and it would get other people to buy in and reduce Elon Musk's effective stake in Twitter. He would own a smaller percent of it because there would be more shares there for people to purchase.
Yeah, my understanding is at this point they did not do that.
They did not do that. Okay.
Although there is fuckery about.
Yes.
But that's a totally different side.
And we're looking to you for this. All I can provide is really this and then some discussion points afterwards. And so the poison pill never actually took place, but Elon Musk then made a much larger offer to purchase Twitter. Was $44 billion at the end. So I don't know, it was like $56 per share or something to that effect.
54.20, I believe, or something like that.
So there you go. So everybody who owns a share of Twitter gets paid $54.20 when all of the ink is dry and everything is done. Of course. He does weird stuff like that. So,
and actually, why don't we just read a little bit of this real quick to get some background right off of it? So coming from timcast.com,
I love to see
breaking. Elon Musk successfully buys Twitter.
It's lonesome money. I don't get the Twitter acquisition. If you look at the revenue Twitter generated versus the $44 billion he paid, it doesn't compute.
Indeed, it does not.
That's a big point. He definitely overpaid. That is a huge point to be
and
made.
That's the reasoning behind that. At this point, it's because at a certain point, this is what you call a hostile takeover, right? You do something to a public company that has a fiduciary responsibility to its shareholders.
Yeah.
Right on the cusp of the Q1, the first quarter earnings reports coming out and things like this, right? It puts a lot of pressure on a corporation or a public board like that to look at an offer that is way more than their stock is worth or is going to be worth, and then realizing that it would be a failure to their shareholders to not take the deal and give everybody a payout. Because as it is right now, if you own one share of Twitter, you will get a check from, I don't know who essentially it'll come from at that point, but you will be paid for your share
JP Morgan Chase
at the rate of $54.20 per share.
Yeah.
So
maybe it comes from Twitter.
I think it probably comes from Twitter, the actual sale. It'll be whoever's buying it. So it'll probably come from Elon. He has to buy the shares from the company, aka from you,
with his name on it.
I would imagine at that point.
Very interesting. Because the funding came from JP Morgan Chase. The half of it that he got funded, he put up a shitload of cash himself.
Yes.
He sold off a bunch of Tesla stock and stuff like that, a bunch of assets and shit, and so that he could put up a bunch of cash, and then got the rest of it funded from JP Morgan Chase.
Yes. Now, so let's get into this article real quick.
Timcast. Shout out Timcast.
Yeah, Timcast is doing big things. We're going to talk about them a couple times throughout this show.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. According to...
baby.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. Part 4, Lenny. Stick around. It's going to be good. According to a press release, quote, Twitter Inc. today announced that it has entered into a definitive agreement to be acquired by an entity wholly owned by Elon Musk for $54.20 per share in cash in a transaction valued at approximately $44 billion. Upon completion of the transaction, Twitter will become a privately held company. Pause button there for a second.
Yes.
As of right now, there's a lot of talk about, this is Elon's Twitter now. This is Elon's Twitter now. It's a totally different Twitter world now because Elon bought it. Elon don't own shit yet.
No.
They have entered into the agreement for him to purchase it.
They haven't even started signing paperwork.
Yes,
yet.
this has to get approved.
Not only is the ink not dry, they haven't even started putting ink down on paper yet.
Exactly, and it still has to get approved by the federal government. I think it's the Federal
SEC,
Exchanges.
or the FEC,
FEC, and there's probably a whole handful of bureaus that have to approve this deal.
All
so
the
it's going to have to
ECs.
go. But from certain legal minds that are looking at it, I hear that it should be a relatively quick transaction. Lonesome Lenny, there is a fiduciary obligation to pay the shareholder the market price at time of purchase.
Well, in the market,
price
is dictated by the person purchasing it, right?
No, the market price is dictated by the market. So if it's a public traded company at that point, it's going to be whatever the stock is, which at this point, I think it goes into this a little bit later. He's already purchasing this at a premium from the time of the purchase. It was, if we get into percentages a little bit more in here, but after the first quarter earnings report came on, they failed to reach their earning goals in quarter one again. So their stock would be falling even further than it is now. So you're getting a massive premium at this point if you were a stockholder in Twitter, if you are a stockholder in Twitter. So let's see, where is that? How do they talk about here? In April, Musk purchased a 9.2% stake, so it's 9.2% according to Timcast, in the social media company. Within a week, he announced his bid to buy the entire company for roughly $43 billion in cash and take the company private, delisting it from the New York Stock Exchange. However, his endeavor was met with criticism and resistance by the company's board. The board announced a shareholder rights plan, often called a, quote, poison pill, as part of their effort to stop Musk from the takeover. The media, politicians, and critics spoke out in fear of Musk's focus on free speech. Multiple pundits have claimed that Tesla CEO's purchase could pose a threat to democracy, that's our new favorite, and transform the platform into an area of hate. It might be the other. This is it.
Free speech absolutism is scary.
It's a bad deal, right? So this is the one that actually talks about their quarterly earnings report coming out and them failing to meet their goals. Again, from Timcast, the company reported 229 million monetized daily user accounts known as MDUAs. The number was slightly higher than the expected 226.9 million, representing a 15.9% increase from the same period last year. The US MDAUs were up 6.4% for the year's quarter at 39.6 million. Where is the area where they talk about them falling short? An increase so they had an increased user share, but still their profit line did not make projections. Where did that article go? I'm just going to go back to this real quick. While I try to find where that's at.
Yep.
So either way, I mean, their earnings report shows that they missed revenue projections, and missed revenue projections like that is only going to occur. The consequences are going to be your stock price falls a little bit because you're not on the track that you think you're on. It's a pretty typical thing if the GDP numbers are expected to be, growth of 7% this quarter, and then they come in negative 1.6%, obviously the stock market is going to fucking be affected by that. Yes. It's no different in individual stocks like that, in individual corporations.
Musk margined a portion of Tesla, and that stock took a hit last week. Yeah, he did do that. So we were talking about he sold a big portion of, not a big portion, but a portion of his Tesla stock to be able to fund this. He put out a statement to the investors and the shareholders after that and said that he wasn't going to sell off any more stock. So I wouldn't be surprised, the natural ebb and flow of people starting to see him selling off stock and start selling their shit off.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what's going to happen. And to my understanding, Tesla stock, it's worth good money, but it also fluctuates because Elon Musk does crazy shit. He just does weird stuff. And when he does a weird thing, it freaks people out. When he gets high on Joe Rogan, the Tesla stock takes a dip, and then it goes back up.
First of all, that is a fallacy. He did not get high on Joe Rogan.
When he smoked cannabis.
Yeah, he put it in his mouth and puffed it like a cigar.
Whatever.
I'm so fucking
because
tired
I'm
of that.
judging him for getting high. I don't care.
No, I know.
When
it's
he
a false
does
narrative.
the Tesla stock takes a dip, it goes back up. So that did happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see it go right back over the next few weeks.
Yeah,
you know?
it'll balance back out to where it always does.
Yes,
but it's nobody right now has an electronic car market that is even like semi close to competing with Tesla. So they're still going to be the big ball or the big baller in the industry for a while yet.
The more money the federal government pushes into electric vehicles.
They just had I just started to see videos about this morning, but last night apparently there was this Tesla electric rodeo held in Texas, and it was like a big old party like that, all centered around Tesla and new products and shit like that. So I got to check out some of the videos because it looked like somebody tried to combine Burning Man and inside of a Tesla factory. Like it looked like a really awesome, really weird, artsy, eclectic celebration with a lot of people in cowboy hats and shit.
Bro.
So but he's always doing crazy shit like that, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for